are, Ten Hag out. I'm not saying the manager is not responsible for what's happening. Big up to Will, Man United in the building. 50-50 on ETH. I'm so balanced, Mark. I know I can get frustrated with Ten Hag, but it's the players on top of it 100%. Big up to you, my brethren, Will. I know how you feel, bro. It's a tough one. It's an emotional situation. We love this club. We are passionate. And of course, our emotions going to get out of control because you know what? We're not seeing the results that we expect. So it's understandable, my brother. Don't feel bad about it. It's normal. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're just a fan. Big up to Timber Banks. I see he's back. He's ready to come on live. My brethren from a long
Oh,
time. What's good,
big
homie?
up to you, Mark. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to everybody in the chat, man. Big up to everybody. Let's go. Let's get the show rolling,
Let's
man. Let's
go.
get the show
So,
rolling.
Temba, the overarching story is United DNA, the responsibility to win. And you see Johnny Evans is on the thumbnail. The old boy in the building, best man on the field yesterday. Should be shocking to some of the players, the younger ones on high wages, 100K per week, big
Mhm.
signings. How would you feel as a player when the old boy who's like, you probably call him grandpa or grandpa pops, pop ups, you know what I'm saying? In
Pops.
training, and this guy is showing out on the field, showing you how it is to be done, knowing what it means to represent the badge. You saw a player there that took responsibility for every challenge he made, whether 50-50 or not. He also took responsibility to cover for other players despite his age. And it was somewhere until in the game. There was at one point we thought he was going to be coming off injured, but he stuck it through and he led the back line. There was a point in the game where I don't know if you guys noticed, but from here watching, I was able to see him like he was talking to himself. It's like he was saying, let's have it. He wasn't really talking to the players, but he was shouting something. And I noticed all the players just looked at him and you saw it like he ignited them in that defense. And they provided a solid defense yesterday. I think, you know, bringing Aston Villa to one shot on target, I would say is stopping Emery's tactics of trying to break us down and get themselves a goal. And I would have to applaud the team for the fight because with the flurry of yellow cards, you would think, hey, United is going to drop their heads. The game is
Mhm.
over for Manchester United. But it didn't happen. Big up to Will. And to be fair, I'm not trying to make it all sound good. You know what I mean? It's a performance that, I mean, most people did say we're going to get banged up, pumped. Aston Villa is going to have a field day Unai Emery masterclass. But United kept it respectable to an extent. I do think there's much to be improved. I think, the communication between the team needs to improve. I think that the chemistry between the attacking line is getting much better. You know, buying many Ajax, sacking 110 Hag now don't make sense. 100% Jack Reacher. Like, I'm not going to say that it's not a possibility. Of course, these guys are businessmen. Of course, they are football savvy. So we can expect them to make a footballing wise decision. Now, I can't say 100% they will not sack Ten Hag. I do know, however, that the meeting that's planned Tuesday was already planned since the summer. It's a new way of trying to keep communication open throughout the club so that everything is always in one direction. It's called the new quarterly meeting between the board, manager, and staff, and it's going to be happening very regularly. It's one, and there's another one that's happening for Christmas. So maybe they might assess things. Maybe they might be critical of Eric Ten Hag. But right now, guys, I don't think we should be the ones worried about that because we did say best in class with the structure. So we should let the structure do their job. As fans, we know what we see. We should criticize the team, also give players flowers and the manager when they get it right. And until then, let the structure do their job and don't let it affect your mental health. You know what I mean? It makes no sense when you already trust the structure and we say best in class. Now, my buddy is in the back. Real Madrid had a win yesterday. Of course, he's a sort of Manchester United fan. I mean, he's just in it for the banter. He loves the football. He loves, talking about football. And my buddy Tamma Banks, he's going to give a little bit of his opinion. You know what I mean? Let's hear what he has to say. Of course, it's box office stuff. get ready. Banks, what are you saying, buddy?
Yeah, Mark, man. Coming into the game, first of all, I'll just say this, man. The fact that Johnny Evans came into that game yesterday and won the man of the match, it is a disgrace to every one of those players on the pitch yesterday. Every one of them. It is a disgrace to them. Whereby, if we are going to be realistic, when Johnny Evans was signed, I don't think Johnny Evans was signed to come be like be an important player. We thought he was going to be a kind of rotational player, but correct me if I'm wrong. Every game Johnny Evans have actually played for Manchester United. In that game, he ends up being the man of the match. So basically, it means he actually understands what it means to play for United.
100%.
He understands. And now you're talking about you guys having yellow cards and did not break down. Go and check all those players that got that yellow card. Those players that had that yellow card were players that can actually coordinate themselves. There are some players that will not be able to do it, honestly. But Kobe was able to. For me, I didn't believe the likes of Ericsson was going to play 90 minutes because I think he was going to take him out. But the honest truth is that I give credit, like Kenny says there, credit to him. He came in, did his job. He understands what it means to play for the badge. And I think that is something many players at United does not really understand. They don't know what it takes to play for that badge. Because maybe they might be looking at it and be like, man, it's United. Maybe they don't look at it and be like, okay, this club used to be this place in this caliber of these teams. They don't understand what it means to play for that team. Johnny Evans know what it means, comes in there, goes on with the man of the match. It's crazy. It is crazy. But first of all, coming to the first 11, I was surprised. I was shocked in that first 11, honestly. And like you said, one will actually think Aston Villa coming to that game, they will run United over. But when I saw Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, I know we're going to be compact because I know now it's a low block. They're going to play. And Unai Emery, like I said, I'll keep saying it, man. Unai Emery is a smart man. He kind of understands that for some weird reason, Tenag adds his numbers. Just like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has Pep's numbers. Whenever they meet, always beat the man. So he also comes to that game with the mentality like, okay, we've won against Bayern Munich in midweek. If I'm able to get a point here, I don't lose it all. It's not a bad idea. For me, I think for both sides, draw actually suits the game more. But for me, I would say in the first half, United try all they could, though they didn't create much chance as they've been doing in previous games, man. And I don't know if because of the lack of Zex not being there. Because I was expecting, okay, yes, Rashford, Hoyland, and Rasmus. At first, Rashford was smoking, what's his name? Konsa. Rashford was one of the reasons Konsa had, what's it called? The hamstring injury because, man, he could not keep up with Rashford. But when Diego Carlos came in, it seemed as if now he was able to handle Rashford, his big physicality and everything. He was able to play into Rashford's head, he frustrated Rashford actually, you know. But when Garnacho switched there, Garnacho was able to do. We always know about Garnacho, but there was not really too much chance in that game. It was Bruno, the one that hit the crossbar. I think Rashford had 2 shots on target,
Rashford.
and
Yeah.
Garnacho. That was basically 4 chances in 96 minutes. There was not really so many chances created. Now, if you ask me, there's something I would have changed in that midfield or in that starting 11. Coming into that game, all of us have been saying it. We've agreed that Lisandro Martinez have not been good enough, no doubt. Yeah. So I was expecting Lisandro Martinez to sit down. Harry Maguire comes in, Matthias deletes. That was what I was expecting. Now the man went with Evans and Harry Maguire. You can't say they were bad. They were not. Harry Maguire was not bad as well. You should understand. But I know people will criticize him because they'll be like, okay, yes, we've given you the players you wanted, and yet you are still sticking to the players we want to get rid of. But on the performance yesterday, they played well. Going to the midfield, I would expect him to come with. I was actually expecting Ugarte, Casemiro, then Ericsson as a 10. That was what I was expecting. I was not expecting Bruno because I've been one person that been clamoring that Bruno has to be dropped. Like that guy needs to be dropped for himself. For himself. Because when you look at yesterday, he had zero shot on target. Because yes, the ball hits the crossbar, but they don't catch it as target. He had
I
zero
was
shot on
telling my brother
target,
that.
zero chance created. Like he had everything 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So sometimes you want to protect all these players as well. And yesterday, I was not expecting him to play yesterday, and I will say it and I will say it here again. If Bruno had stepped down, benched Bruno, you had Casemiro, Ugarte, and Ericsson, we're going to see a more different game there yesterday. But yesterday, Hoyland also was not really, really impressive, and he needs to work on his first touch. I've taken my time and studying him, not just yesterday. His first touch is a problem. His first touch is always a problem. He needs to work on his first touch. But when you look at it again yesterday, the reason why you will say United did not really create much chance, it gets to show you actually the effect of what Zexi was actually doing up front there. It was missing as well yesterday. Yes, he came in, he did not do anything. But at the second half, 1-0, the game and the momentum had already shifted from United to Aston Villa. So he could not really do enough. But Mark, would I have taken Rashford out yesterday? No, I would not. Would I have brought on Anthony? I've been somebody I've been clamoring for Anthony to come to get game time. Would I have brought him yesterday? I don't think I would. Sometimes there are games whereby when you are watching the game, you can have the players you want to play, but there's a way the game will go that will definitely affect your changes now. Yesterday, I hope somebody would like, yes, play Anthony, play Anthony, play Anthony. But as the game was going yesterday, will I bring in Anthony? I would bring Anthony. Yes, he came in, he had a shot, but that shot is not really, it's something that everybody, 9 out of 10, the goalkeeper saves it. And it was not really like hard. So will I bring in Anthony yesterday? I don't think so. Maybe that second half right now, whereby you have the starting level is you have Mino, you have got Casemiro and Ugarte. In the second half now, you have options of bringing someone like Zexi, somebody like Ahmad. For me, I think I would have taken Hoyland out, push Rashford up front. Because if there's one thing I see, I think Ten Hag, people might want to say he likes Garnacho, but there's something Garnacho just gives, man. That Rashford does not have. Garnacho will run at you. He will not stop running. He will keep coming at you. That's one thing I like about that dude. He plays like Vinny. He's not scared. He's raw. He will keep coming at you. And that's something I think these days right now, we get to see Garnacho play full minutes, 90 minutes than what's his name, Rashford. Because the man sits there and be like, okay, yes, I can trust this guy to keep disturbing that man. And we saw what he did to Carlos. And we have seen it against 20. He comes in. Whenever he switched to that same Rashford position, one people marks Rashford, but when Garnacho goes there, 2-3 people marks him.
100%.
So it tells you how they look at him. They look at him like this guy is dangerous.
More dangerous.
Though many United fan base might not really rate him. Because I know many people that don't rate Garnacho. And it is weird. It is very, very weird. Against 20, he comes in, immediately he goes to the left-hand flank. It's not more one person, it's not 2 people marking him, 3 people marking him. Even against Spurs as well. He went there, 2 people now marking him. So that's the thing. So I believe this man believes Garnacho is a threat. And like he's a threat to anybody knows he's a threat. But for me, he should have taken out Hoyland because Hoyland was not really performing that much. Take out Hoyland, bring in, pushing Rashford up front there. Rashford has space as well. And I think I can agree. Rashford is more clinical. More clinical than Hoyland. But that's my take on the game, though. Aside that, man, I think it was a boring game in full. But the first half looked as if United were going to get something out of the game, but it did not end up happening. But that's it. Everybody, the man, I think the man was also playing safe, man, guys. He was playing safe. That's why I think. I think Ronaldo was just playing safe because it looks at it, even me as well. I've played somebody 5 times. Five. I only won just one. He won just one, and the rest four, he has lost them all. Not draw. He has lost them all. So right now, when you look at a table, they are sitting fifth on the table. So basically, at that 1 point, it's something for Aston Villa. So that's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's an interesting way to look at it. For me, I look at it from the perspective that, well, in some instances, I understand some of these selections for the team. Well, I was had Ericsson. We could agree on the Bruno situation. Drex, when you're ready, let me know. Let me know. I'll bring you up to the stage. And it's one of those things that I felt like Rashford should have came off. I liked his performance in the game, but I feel like in the moment after he got the yellow card, big up to Jim Watkins, bro. I'll go and read your comment just now as well. Big up to you, brother. I just felt like he started losing his cool a little bit, because that tackle that he made, I felt he could have got a
Yeah,
yellow
yeah,
card.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. True,
felt
true,
Ten
true,
Hag
true, true,
taking him off
true.
was by force of that last foul he made, as opposed to actual want to bring him off. You know what I mean? I feel like the ref was a little bit biased yesterday. I was shocked that Bruno didn't get booked, to be fair. Shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. I'm pretty sure my brethren, Elite, I feel he lost at 2 pounds because I'm pretty sure he bet on Bruno to get a card yesterday. So we going to talk to Elite about that later. I see Drex is back. Drex, let me know when you're ready. I'll bring you up. Big up to Drex in the building. Drex, I was asking the question earlier, right? So Johnny Evans, man of the match performance. All these young players came into the squad who was there before, looking at pop-ups like Grandpappy. But he's showing men what responsibility means. Not just tactics, performance, not just playing for your paycheck, but how to represent according to the badge on your chest. What are your thoughts on
Big
the
up,
team
Drex.
performance according to that as well? Talk a little bit about how the players should look at that Johnny Evans performance and what they should take from that, as well as how you saw the game. Well, I sent you the questions already, so floor is yours.
Oh, first of all, for me, if they don't want to look at Johnny Evans, then they should just get out, right? If you don't, they had Ronaldo. I don't think anything could change with some of these players. They had
Yeah.
Ronaldo. They had Ronaldo. Who else? Who else do they want to be in the same dressing room with? Ronaldo of all people. Same Ronaldo that started poor at United was playing people upside. The same Ruud van Nistelrooy that we have right now was playing them upside
Oh,
down.
Drex, sorry, let's excuse me 1 second. And I forget to read this comment for Jim.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Mark, everyone, big up. The rumors of Tuchel coming in or Carrick coming back or Ten Hag staying. Ineos need to come out and make a statement, either back Ten Hag or sack. Ridiculous merry-go-round. What I will say about this, Jim, I know they always had a meeting planned for this week since the summer. I would say that in your statement too, a week and a half ago, that they are backing Ten Hag is their official statement. There's been some reports from David Ornstein this morning that Ineos will stick with Ten Hag, and they explained that the meeting is just a quarterly meeting. Of course, they will be examining the performances. Don't worry about that. But I don't think, from what I have hearing and from what David Ornstein is saying, Ten Hag is not at risk of being sacked, not in this international break. So most of it is mostly what I would say to be media driven. Right, Drex, back to you, and after that we'll get into the comments when you finish.
So I was saying, I said if Ronaldo was here and they didn't take anything from Ronaldo, what makes us think they would take a coup from Johnny Evans?
Evans.
Johnny Evans is old school, bro. Johnny Evans knows, even when he was playing for Leicester City, he was playing like his life depended on it. It wasn't, oh, I've gone to Leicester, I've been there. Don't forget, this man has won the league title as well. So it's not a case of, oh, I've been there, done that, let me just chill. No, he still plays, bro. He still plays like he's 17, 18, 21, bro. So if these players, I think the younger ones can look at him and be like, the younger ones that are actually coming from the youth setup, even the younger ones, the people like Rasmus, even Ahmad, Anthony, and them likes Dalo should be looking at this game like, yo, at 30, at 35, 36, bro, this man is still giving everything, leaving everything on the pitch, bro. It's not taking anything back. So if that performance from Johnny Evans, bro, if he doesn't send a message to them, bro, I'm afraid there's nothing you and I could say from now to the end of days that would change them. It's they have to look. Everybody has got to look into themselves and be like, yo, how did a 36-year-old win a man of the match performance? Again, and I was on the pitch, bro. I was on the pitch, you know. Also the game, right? I just looking at the game. I'm gonna start with my two negatives, right? Just looking at the game, we were toothless. We were flat. We didn't feel like we did. You could tell we're not going to score, right? Though we hopped and popped 4 shots shots on target, they had one. Bro, it looked like we were not going to score, right? So, and also, players were not because Villa was so flat. United were like, you know what, this is the Villa that they say we're gonna wash us, beat us 3. So United were just the players were just there. It was more like an average performance, no bite, nothing, right? So, but on the positive, we kept a clean sheet. A lot of people were expecting us to be beaten handsomely, but we kept a clean sheet. We actually posed a few threats here or there. It's something that the coach can actually look at and be like, you know what, there's something I could build up from this, right? So we saw that we were even playing it felt like we were the home team, if you know what I mean. We were putting pressure on Villa,
Fuck.
but we're not just the dots were not connecting in the final third. The defense was holding and it's so weird because I think Mark asked me this question, like, what did I think of the lineup? It was so weird. The lineup came out, everybody was losing their cool. Everybody was losing their cool. Is it like this manager wants to get sacked? Is it everybody was losing? I'm like, I couldn't get to come on and say my piece yesterday because I had to jump to church, right? But everybody was losing their cool. I'm like, yo, calm down. It's the same way people lost their cool when Ericsson started that game. And they were like, yo, what's gonna happen to Ericsson and stuff like that? Everybody was losing their cool. I'm like, yo, calm down. This manager, he knows what he's doing. And it was right yesterday against Oli Watkins. One would think, okay, you know, Leon Bailey played yesterday. Even the I've seen the Rogers play. That's why I wasn't too bothered when people were talking about Rogers. I've seen him play. It's a good player, but it's not that player that I'll be worried about now. If Ipswich could tame him, anybody could tame him, you know. So that in itself, the fact that the manager's starting lineup got not get the 3 point, but at least kept a clean sheet, held their own, right? It's a good thing for the manager. So people can actually say, okay, his selection, he got it right this time, right? So we could give him the accolades, right? But the game, I just felt like the players they were not giving. They were giving 60%, bro. It wasn't what I saw against you see Brighton, Tottenham. You saw how the players wanted it more, right?
Yeah. We saw the
The
game.
Brighton players how they want. So I don't feel like United players are to. That's why the likes of Johnny Evans is standing out, because he had left everything on the pitch, bro. He didn't take anything home with him. So big up to Johnny Evans. I see football power hours here.
So you Drex, sorry, would you say that they are done into right now? The players. Would you say that they've checked out?
I don't think
the
they checked out. I don't think they checked out on the man. I don't want to believe they checked out on him. If the time to check out of the manager was the FA Cup, knowing fully well that if he had lost that, he would have gone. That was the perfect time to check. I don't think they've checked out. I just feel it's a confidence and a mentality thing right now. It's a confidence thing. I would say, and I'll keep saying, if these guys get on a roll of 7 games, they win 5, draw 2, score an average of 1.5 goals, right? In that time, in that space, an average of 1.5 goals every, bro, you would see the fire in their belly. Right now, it's a case of we're trying everything, we're not getting the end product. So I think it's telling on their self-esteem. I think it's just something that's got to do with up here as to actually down in tools. I don't think they're down in tools, no. I just feel like, you know, when you're trying something and it's not hitting, you get frustrated. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
we are. That's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
level that they're at right now. They feel frustrated, right? That Joe, we're giving to them. They're giving everything, right? To them, they're giving everything. Like take for example the 20 game, right? They 1-0 up. They were trying to get the second goal to kill that game off, and voila, they lost. They conceded. That would tell on them. The Porto game, 2 goals, quick succession. Like yo, okay, I am flying right here, right? So and bam, brought back to reality by 2 mistakes from the defense. And everybody's like,
Mhm.
what? Not again, bro. Not again. So I feel like they just need to go on some winning spree. They just need to go on some winning spree. Right. Yes, you might say some have checked out, right? But for me, I don't see that. I see it as players not their confidence is really low, right? So that's how I see it. I might be wrong. That's why we're all different in the world. So you guys have seen something different. But for me to answer that question, I don't think you checked out. I don't think you checked out.
Big up to
Okay.
Poppy in the building, bro. What's good? What's good? What are your thoughts, my brother? I know you watched the match yesterday, and I just wanted to hear your views. What are your thoughts on the performance? How do you think we approach the game? Do you think that it was the right approach to the game? How do you feel about Johnny Evans being the man of the match? What the players should think about that? I mean, they're all at least 10 years younger than Johnny and on bigger wages. Should that make an impact on them and change the way they look at performing when wearing the badge of Manchester United? The floor is yours, my bro.
Yeah, big up, guys. Yeah, it's funny because people ran with Berbatov's like statement that a lot of Man United players should be embarrassed that Johnny Evans is man of the match. And sure, I get that, but also there's the other side of the coin where like Johnny Evans is a squad player, a rotational player, a backup player. That's actually what his role is. He's a backup player, and he was doing what a backup player needs to do. And big up to him for being a professional and putting in the performance that he did. Him and Maguire. And I want to say that you know um, the from just sort of that lineup, you could see that either Ten Hag was going with one of two things for me. It's sort of like a disciplinary action to Delict and Licha that they failed him against Porto, or it was a tactical change, or most likely both, you know. So it sort of like shows what like you need a squad to do so that like Delict and Licha have to work their way back. Nobody earns a right to be in the starting lineup. So I was really happy with Johnny Evans and Maguire for putting such a good performance, and especially given the fact that we need that internal competition and players to individually prove themselves that they belong in the starting lineup. So that part was really commendable for me. I also like the fact that um, as a unit defensively, we were really cohesive, and that's something that is obviously very difficult for a fan to embrace when the team is not doing well, when your rivals are like you know opening up a gap, points wise, everybody's on double digits, and we are the one of the few clubs on single digit point, 8 points, right? So it is very frustrating to be able to not be able to separate the performance from the result. But I think sometimes for perspective, we have to do that and look at not just performance as a global, but like performance defensively and offensively, and you get to actually see a clearer picture of what's going on when you break down the performance. And I think somebody already touched on it earlier. It's just like defensively we're good, offensively we need to sort out a bunch of things. And we are not even top 10 right now in the Premier League for number of shots taken. So that means like there's lots of other clubs that are taking more shots than us. And if you can take a shot, you can score. So offensively, we need to really get the players to build on more of the offensive patterns. And that's where like the coaching of Van Nistelrooy needs to come in and kick into place because right now we're at a negative goal difference, and a big part of it is because we just don't score enough goals. You know, so I look at yesterday's performance as like, oh, a step. It's a step. I would have wanted us to win, but Aston Villa is a team that's actually a Champions League team, and we are nowhere near Champions League spots right now, and we need to understand that our team form is poorer than Aston Villa's. So for me, I look at that point as something salvageable.
Interesting. I mean, I can't say I disagree with much of you guys. Different comments and sentiments about the performance of the match and the room that we have to improve and where we need to improve. I think, with respect to Johnny Evans, like Jim Watkins is saying, massive respect to him. He played so well. GB is saying something I was thinking as well. The younger players or the other players in the club should look at his performance, be inspired by it, and go out and hope to emulate it each day. You know what I mean? Dean Nadu is saying, bro, Johnny Evans is old school MU player. He puts on the MU jersey. His blood group is MU plus, period. 100%, bro. 100%. I know we're going to get into Kepa Land's comments. Dear Ineos rival fans, don't want you to sack Ten Hag. Do with that information as you will. And of course, it sounds amazing. And I don't disagree with you, right? Some rival fans don't want us to sack him, but there's some other rival fans who do want us to sack him, like the likes of LB, just Lee Gunner, lots of other guys. And I think that sometimes, rival fans could be genuine or they could be sort of ingenuine as well. And it depends on what the structure has to decide because, I mean, they're not unintelligible accountants, they're footballing specialists. So I think we should trust their decision. We may not understand everything, we may not see everything happening behind the scenes. And now I'm not saying your opinion does not count. Of course, it's very valid, and I'm pretty sure that there are people scooping all these information and comments online from different sources, to prevent, percentages and information to these people. So don't be afraid, speak your mind at the end of the day, but have faith in the structure that they will make a decision that will benefit United going forward, in the best possible way. Of course, we all were excited about this transfer window this summer. We believe that the manager was fully backed. He got players in the proper profiles that we need. Of course, we wanted a left back and a senior striker, but we got a young striker and no left back. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I think multiple windows would be needed. We heard Ineos bosses and chiefs, the DOF, as well as the CEO said, we want to win in 2028. That's the season we want to challenge and win the title. Of course, I would think they would want to challenge more before that and win other things as well. So I think they would definitely be assessing Ten Hag, but I would not be worried about any radical decisions in this current moment. It's only been 7 games in the Premier League, and we've only lost 3 games. We've won 2, we've drawn 2. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think there's lots of room to improvement and a lot of points that we can still pick up. Remember, all the top teams are yet to play each other. Points will be won and lost against each other. In those circumstances, United does have a chance to make a comeback, but they're going to have to work very hard, guys. Abdul Rahman Udrago is saying a great club needs a great coach. The biggest mistake is not going for a top coach to replace Ferguson at the time. I think that's also very fair comment. I think we should have gone to get one of the best coaches at the time around. But, we did take a chance on David Moyes. And I don't think he's a terrible coach. I just think, having to work under the guise of Alex Ferguson being your predecessor was always going to be an uphill battle. And the fan expectation was ridiculous at that point. I'm not saying they shouldn't have it, but because if you've been winning for 20 years, of course, you expect to win every season. So it's understandable. Big up to Adrian Monk in the building saying, after yesterday starting Maguire and Evans showed his project is going nowhere. He's got to go. Could you explain to me a little bit more? Give us some more in the comments, bro, so we could, fully understand why you feel like that. Big up to Jim Watkins. Big up to Patrick Fumba in the building. Selling De Gea has cost Eric Ten Hag. League position would have been better last season and this season, and we'd have far more funds in for another position. Well, I mean, I won't comment too much on this one. I can't guarantee to say I know the full details on everything that happened with that. However, I do know We offered the Gea 2 contracts, one and then a reduced contract after that. And then eventually it was pulled away. We signed Andre Onana. I won't heavily blame Ten Hag for this. I don't think if he just wanted to get Didier out to have Andre Onana, I think he would have liked to have both, but it wasn't the situation. Of course, hopefully we will get more information on clarity on this so we're not just blindly making assumptions. You know what I mean? He is responsible for wanting to play out from the back. So, technically he does have to hold it at the end of the day as the manager. According to what Bot says, the team needs to improve in their attacking shape, their patterns of play. They need to create more chances consistently. Of course, this is the first game we've created less than 14 chances since we started the league, but also we have still less shots on goal than the top 10 teams right now. What we do have actually is one of the top stats for chance creation. We're in the top 5, and we're actually in the top 2 for big chances missed. This is another point that I would like to ask you guys about. I'll start with you again, Papi, and go down to Drex and Temba. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know, because I feel like that also shows that, in a way, the system is working better than it was last season since we're creating all these big chances. And possibly we just need the strikers and young attackers, to step up and make the final chance by, being clinical at the end.
So it's funny because that situation really depends on having, as we said, it's like patterns forming, telepathic understanding. If you look at sort of what that trio of Jurgen Klopp, like one of my in recent years, like that's one trio that I used to, unfortunately, like watching. But the telepathic understanding of um but Firmino, Salah, and Mane, you know, before they could become the trio, they had to go through so many games together where they actually started to form those things where you pass. If you play football and you know that, oh, if I'm in this zone, all I have to do is send the ball there and I will find, Drex. He knows that the ball is coming from behind, like he has to make that run into the channel. There's To get to that level, you need consistency in the lineup. Now, why do we have so many big chances missed? Partially is because we haven't had a consistent lineup. Rasmus Hoyland was injured. We saw what happened right at the beginning of the season, and he's just coming off of an injury, right? Joshua Xerxes has been sort of trying to build a rhythm with some of the attackers, and he has a Premier League goal to show for it. But obviously, he has to do a lot more in terms of output numbers wise, because that's the benchmark for a Man United forward. You have to be putting in numbers. We can't accept somebody to play the Weghorst role again. There's a reason why we let go of Weghorst, and Xerxes has to evolve into a player that scores goals and also gets assists. So until we get stability up front, we won't see chances go in as easy as other clubs are. So we it's going to take a little bit of time to gel offensively, but I think the ingredients are there. I think the potential is there, and it's just a matter of just staying patient, letting the players learn, letting the players review tapes, review games that didn't work, and with the coaches, and then they will actually improve. That's all that it takes. It's just patience and persistence.
100%. Drex, your thoughts, bro?
My thoughts is the case. It's simple. When we get to the final third, our decision making is added to what Papi said already, right? They need to form chemistry. But I think our decision making at the final third is poor. Now I've watched most of all the games we played, right? When we get to the final third, it feels like we don't know what we want to do. We do not. We lose every sense of coordination. When to pass, how to pass, if to pass or shoot, if you know what I mean. Just sometimes you just put your laces through the ball and you shoot and it might just end up going on, take a deflection and it's in. Other times you just need to pass the ball to someone that is more that has the advantage, that could do a better job than you. And I've seen this, and I don't know why Eric Ten Hag is not still pointing that out to them. Maybe he is. I'm not in the dressing room. But yesterday's game, there was I believe 3-4 times where Genasio should have just passed to somebody that was more open, but he decided to take on the man, right? Also, we're on the counter towards the end of the game. The ball should have gone to either of Anthony or Bruno. That would have been a 2v1 situation. No, they went to Genasio, right? Who had to now cut the ball, try to pass the ball across the Aston Villa's defense line, and it was cut out. So for me, I think we need to they need to look at clips and start thinking, okay, if I'm in this situation, make the best decision. It's just the best decision. We are doing all we can. The shot, like me, I'm not, me, Mark, I'm not really bothered about shot on target and all of that. Yesterday, I watched a Brighton game where Tottenham had 2 shots on target, 2 goals, right? I'm that kind of a person where I'm not really bothered about how many shots you have, right? As long as you are converting these shots, right, into something good, then it's okay. Make the keeper make a great save. Yes, we cannot apply, okay, that keeper was exceptional on that night, right? So, but our decision making needs to improve. On the final, every other thing, defense, midfield, we're getting those things a little bit right now. We're trying to correct some of those wrongs. But at the final third, where we need it most, we need to do better in terms of decision making. Added to what Bots has actually said earlier.
Big up. Temba. Let me just read
Big
these
up,
Jarvis
man.
comments. It was really interesting, reading these Jarvis comments. I'm just read them really quickly before I get back to you, my brother. Sorry about that. And Jarvis is saying, I've come to the conclusion that I'm sticking with Ten Hag as my manager for the rest of the season, and I will reevaluate then. I believe in longevity and trusting the process. Given the circumstances, I understand that we have to go through this tough period to improve. Difficult challenges require discipline and a calm head. We can't let emotions take over. Walking uphill is never easy, but reaching the top is worth it. Pain and struggle through hard work will eventually pay off. I kind of tend to agree with this. You know what I mean? I know there are rival fans like Nick Sekilo. Dennis is saying, yes, I don't want United to sack him until they play us in November and top 4 is out of reach. This is the best news for rival fans. Well, I would remind you that top 4 is never out of reach until March. But, that's usually how it goes. Big up to you, my bro. Jim Watkins is saying, I don't mind if people are Ten Hag out. Insulting the manager or the players is so unprofessional and evil. A civil discussion and love for the team should be our main focus. 100%, guys. You can definitely be Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. You can definitely not like players. That's 100% okay. You can criticize them all you want. Just keep it a little bit cordial. You don't want anyone offending you in the chat as well. I think we should also keep concern on how we describe these players. The ball fraud on these things, I think, is a little bit unnecessary. You can articulate yourselves better, guys. Let's form a lovely community. Let's speak on the footballing matters. And let's get it out, because everybody needs their voices heard, and we'll make sure that everyone has their voice. Mpanza is saying, out of interest, how can players not running not be the manager's fault? Manager picks them. If they don't run, they don't play. This is not very difficult one to work out. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if it's on the day, bro. So the only thing I can say is maybe they're running in training. When they get on the field, they have to run. It's not always the same players not performing well every single game. It's kind of rotating in the players. So it's a weird one, but I do agree with you to that extent. You know what I mean? Adrian Monk is saying, it's crazy to me that United just had their worst Premier League season ever and are even worse this year. And fans are saying, keep Ten Hag, no ambition. Well, I'm not too sure.
Mark, can I say something quick about that?
Sure.
You cannot say fans are saying keep Ten Hag when we have a large section of the fans that want to sack the manager. So that statement there, right there, is no balance.
I mean, this is his opinion.
No, I'm just saying that's why I said let me just add something to that. So let's just keep it balanced. Let's go.
Big up to Ray Carl Brown in the building. That's fair. They went Moyes and we fell off. I think he's agreeing with the comments said earlier about getting a really high-class manager when Alex Ferguson left. I think that's a fair assessment as well. I don't disagree there. Big up to Ray Carl Brown with the £5 super chat. I don't think the players have checked out. me, that's why I don't think the manager needs to go. And I would kind of agree with that. I think normally anyone could agree that normally United would get a few red cards, things stop going their way, heads dropped, and we lose our calm and eventually lose the game as well, usually in a poor fashion. But yesterday, I think they kept their mental strength up. They worked hard. They dug deep. You know, it wasn't a performance that we came on to win, but I think it was a well-earned draw. I think we deserved the point. If anything, we deserve to win. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I might say that, and people might say I'm just making excuses for Ten Hag. Kepalands is really adamant. Ten Hag, we're in 14th place. That's all need to be said. If we should keep Ten Hag or not, it's his third year. Well, the interesting thing for me, Kepalands, which I would highlight to you, is that we've played 7 games in a Premier League season so far. We've lost 3, we've won 2, we've drawn 2. I don't think this is a bad result so far. I don't think top 4 or being 14 currently matters until actually midway through the season around game week 19, because there are 38 games in the Premier League season and we still have 31 left. So maybe let's hear what Tumba thinks. What do you think about this so far, my bro?
Well, is there more I could say? Drex and Papi have actually said it, man. You know, one thing about these guys, man, goals wins you games. When you don't score, you don't win games. Goals win games. But one thing I will say is this, man. With Rasmus Højlund, yes, he has been injured. He has not been available for quite of some time, and I would say it here. Most of the position or kind of balls Zexi got, and he could not bang it. I believe if that was Rasmus, that is in the back of the net. But the reason is I will not blame Zexi again because Zexi have actually been misprofiled. The Nag is playing him as a striker, of which is not is more of a 10. So what I would have done is play Rashford up front. Since this guy is not available, Rasmus Højlund is not available. Just you tried it one game, it did not work. We could see that the link up was there, just that this guy as a player is not back taking his chances. So I think now that this guy is back now, Rasmus, I hope since we change, I hope things will change. But you don't score goals, you don't win games. So I'm not surprised with what United is going through right now. That's my 2 cents to add.
Joe, what are you saying, brethren? Big up to you. Welcome to the channel. Backhand Entertainment in the building. You know what I mean, Joe? I know you have a lot to say. You know, welcome. But let me let Olmo go first. You know, he's been waiting a little while. Olmo.
No problem, bro.
You know what I mean? We're talking about the impact of Johnny Evans being man of the match on the rest of the team, how they should feel about that, if that will inspire them to do better and emulate that performance. What you thought about the team and the performance in the game yesterday, and what you think will happen, or what can we do going forward? That's to you, Olmo.
You already know how I feel about the manager, so I'm not going to start on that. So we're going to move forward past that. John Evans getting mad at the match. I'm not surprised, as John Evans died that day on the pitch, because again he shouldn't have been playing. He died that day on that pitch. If it wasn't for him, I don't know how many goals we would have conceded. That's one. My thing is, like, I said this when last week. Who did we play before this? Was it Porto? It was Porto, right? Yeah, it was Porto. Then before that Porto match, who did we play? I forgot who it was. And I told you, like, those Xerxes chants you people are crying about, that Xerxes didn't score. If Holland doesn't get those same amount of chances, and we've seen for the past 2 games, Holland didn't get those chances that Xerxes was getting. That just shows that with different profile of player, it's not gonna work with this manager. And this whole thing of, like, when I look at the pitch and when the manager speak, I'm like, stop talking, because what you're saying is contradicting what I said on the pitch. Because you're saying rotational stuff, you're saying tracking back stuff, now you're saying because of defensive duty. It's too many jargons that I'm hearing. That all I want to do is look at the pitch and see what's going on. And when I look at the picture going on, I'm like, this is not good enough. Like, cool, you draw 0-0 with Aston Villa. Like, that's a match you should have won. You drew with Aston Villa. Like, not international break. When the players come back, I don't know what I'm going to expect. I don't know what I'm going to expect. Like, we are 14 on the table, and it's not a good 14. And it's not like you're looking like it's a game by game, because again the league has started already. This is not preseason. The league has started already. Nobody's waiting for you. People are getting stronger. Players are gonna come back from injury from other team and our team as well. How are we gonna react? I do not know. But it's all up to I really know how I feel, so I'm not going to speak on that manager again, because it's simple what needs to be done. Because with him here, top four is not is done. Top four is done, because other teams are not waiting for you. That's the most important thing. Other teams are not waiting for you, and yeah, we are looking like, oh, we could get top four. We just gotta wait. Other teams are not waiting. You're fighting against other teams, so that's about it. Oh, ETA chat, before I forget, get that man out of my club.
You know what? I hear everything almost saying in it, yeah. Because one thing I will have to agree with, obviously Xerxes creates chances by the way that he plays. Yeah. That's 100% true. Yeah. But he doesn't want to mention the guy's name, but I'll say his name, innit? Eric Ten Hag is causing his own demise. I will agree with everyone here and say that, well, most of you here, and say that the performances at the beginning of the season were much improved from last season in terms of chances created and the fact that we were still holding clean sheets. But the fact that we're not putting anything away, the fact that now, we're playing for draws when we should be always playing for a win. There should be a way of us trying to find a win. And if we don't find a win, then fair enough, innit? Yeah. That's how draws should happen. We should never be playing for draws. Yeah. This is not even the crunch time of the season yet. Why are we playing for draws? We need as much points as possible. I don't find that acceptable. The way that we're moving right now, we're actually moving like we are mid, and we're supposed to be mid. Yeah, we find smaller teams than us playing for wins against these mid teams, and yeah, they might come up trumps, but at least they're playing for a win. I shouldn't be expecting Manchester United to be playing for a draw. Any team, unless it's crunch time against, we are first and second, and crunch time, we must play against the person who's either second or first, and we must beat them or draw with them in order to stay where we need to be. Those are the times we should be playing for draws, bro. We weren't playing for any position in the league right now. Yeah, it's not like we were playing for fourth. We weren't playing for a Champions League position. It's not like it was in the semi-finals of anything. We need to play for a win when we go away to Aston Villa. When we're at home, we should be always playing for a win. Isn't that what we should be doing, people? Unless it's crunch time. And was it crunch time yesterday? Can any one of you men tell me that it was crunch time yesterday?
I don't think so, but
No.
I actually think we was playing for a draw yesterday. I don't know where that notion comes from.
So you think that we were playing for? Okay, all right.
We
So
have the
in your
most
opinion,
chances on goal in the game. I think that's clear.
Wasn't you on the channel last night saying that you agreed that we were playing for a draw?
No, I didn't say that, bro. I would never say that.
No, I think we are playing. I think we are playing to not to lose.
I think being the
not
team
to
that
lose.
I could see playing for a draw, but we're playing not to lose that game.
I think we are the team that was playing to win the most. I actually think that it was Aston Villa who was set up to play not to lose the game and get a draw, if not nothing else. Because if you look at it, they only had one shot on target for the entire game. And that says to me that they were more or less trying to stop us from doing what we wanted to do in the game and try to hit us on the counter.
They had the same amount of shots as us, bro. It's just that they had one on target.
One shot on target for 98 minutes.
Yeah, but you're just taking a shot on target, but still had 10
bro,
shots.
I'm speaking facts. Onana had to make
one
save.
I get that they only had one shot on target. Doesn't mean that they took one shot, though, does it?
I never said they took one shot, bro. What I'm trying to say is
so stop telling me they only had one shot on target. They still had 10
shots. The funny thing is that I don't discount when men talk about other teams having 27 shots against United when it's only 4 on target, bro. Men complain to us 27 shots on average per game.
Yeah,
so let me not discount it when it don't apply. You understand what I mean? Keep the balance, bro.
Tell me both. Don't tell me
one side.
But
I did tell you both, bro. I just said that they had
when did you
10 shots, the
shots?
same amount of shots as United, but they only had one on target. So I don't understand. I'm not trying, bro. I just said it, bro. I said it 10 times in the stream. Every time I ask the question, I talk about it, bro. And the reason why I'm saying
Well,
it
you
like
never
that is
said it when
because
I
the
was there.
fact is the facts of the matter. Now, you cannot come here and tell me United was playing for a draw when we have more big chances in the game than the opposing team, and we are
Why
late.
can't I tell you that?
Because that
Why
is
can't I
insane.
tell you that? What if they're both
There's
playing for a
nothing
draw?
saying that, bro.
That doesn't
When you
make any
look at
sense, fam.
the
Just because
game,
we have more
the
big chances doesn't
performance,
mean that we
United
can't be
was the
playing for a
better
draw.
team. We looked the team
Fam,
to
you can
score a
sit
goal.
back. You can sit back and hit on a counter attack and still
Did we sit
have
back and hit
more.
on the counter?
I never said that. I said you can sit back on the counter attack and defend and still have bigger chances than the other team. Because
But
if
they
you're
didn't.
defending better,
But
if
they
you're defending
didn't.
better than the other
But they
team,
didn't.
yeah, then that means they ain't gonna
But
have
they
as much
didn't,
big
though.
chances as you
Did
on the
Aston
break
Villa,
then,
though?
innit? Of course not. So you can
Of
defend
course. So
better than a
then
match.
where's the
You can
argument?
defend the
There's
whole
a
match,
Man
fam,
United
yeah,
fan channel,
and
bro.
still
We
be
don't care about Aston Villa, and I'm not trying to
that.
misrepresent them. I did keep it real, bro. Like, I'm not trying to make it sound better than it is. I never said it was a great performance or anything like that. I'm far from it. But I'm speaking the facts.
In my opinion, yeah, we were playing for a draw, fam. From what I've watched, yeah.
Oh, man.
If
Big
Omar
up,
want to say
Rich.
we were playing not to lose, I count that as the same thing.
I don't think we was playing not to lose. I think saying we was playing not to lose, maybe. Okay,
Joe, can I
guys
say
different.
something?
Just now, Jack. I just think that, okay, the comparison between the fact that we weren't playing out from the back at the beginning of the game, I think that was based on the team that he put out, and that was a different tactic to start the game. If you notice, when De Ligt came on in the second half, we started playing the ball out from the back very successfully. So I think it's more about a tactic situation and not the fact that we were sitting back just basically to get a hit on the counter, bro. Because we was kind of playing more the ball for the beginning. Big up to Rich in the building. I'll let Drex go, and then, Rich will come in after. Give his opinion on the
Joe,
game. Big up to Rich. Welcome.
Big up to Rich. Joe, let me just say this, right? I understand when you say we felt like we were playing for a draw, right? But maybe watching the game and knowing that we are not going to score at any point in that game, maybe that's why you're feeling that way. Because I don't think we were playing for a draw. In the first half, in the first 25, 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, United were moving the ball. And if you even check, because Omo is here, that's why I'm even saying it. Because if you even check the heat map and all of that, you could see that we're gaining control, right? But it's the final third that was letting us down. The decision making in the final third wasn't that great. So I understand when you say we felt like we were playing for a draw, but I don't think it's actually wholeheartedly the truth, bro. Because we were trying to see how we could create chances. Them had 11 short goals attempts. We had 10. We had 4 on target. They had 1, right? And even in the first half, we had 3. They had none, right? Not until the 56th minute or 57th minute they managed to pull 1. So if you look at the game, it was pretty much, in my opinion, pretty much balanced. It's just that United should have edged it, but when you're looking at the game wholeheartedly without bias, you know that, bro, the goal scoring, it's not going to happen in this game. Even if we had played.
Fair enough. I hear what you're trying to say, yeah. But you know what I'm going to say to that? Maybe I'll change my statement slightly then, yeah? Because in the first half and stuff, yes, there was a period of time when we were starting to gain control and whatever else, yeah? But do you know what happened? Do you know when, after we didn't score, we then switched to save ourselves mode, SOS mode, yeah? Do you understand what I mean, yeah? We then switched to more defensive rather than more offensive. Why are we doing this?
It's I said it before, it's the players thing. It's a case of they trying all they could do to get a goal, but it's not working. So we've seen it several times. They don't want to get carried away because against FC20 and against Crystal Palace, we should have conceded because these players were trying to get a goal. They were moving the ball, they were controlling the game. I think it gets to them that if they keep going at that, they might be prone to making mistake. And Aston Villa is not the team you want to.
You see what you're saying? You think. What I'm seeing though, yeah. Look, I get it. There's all sorts of fan opinion on what you think is going through their head, what you think is happening to them. That's all well and good about what you think, yeah. But all I'm going on is what I'm seeing, yeah. And from what I'm seeing is that I saw my team try to a point and then stop, yeah. And if the manager's seeing that, and if it's a thing where you think it's what they think is going on in their head, what you think is going on in their head, why is the manager not trying to shuffle up the things then and move people and tell people no, and then get back on the front foot? That's what I'm getting on. That's what I'm getting on, bro. I'm getting on that thing of when, if you're telling me you think that it's a mentality of the players thing, if the manager's thinking that it's a mentality of the players thing as well, he shouldn't just be accepting that, bro. He should be saying, what he should be going, you, your mentality ain't right. How about we move you here, move you there, push that person there, bring him on, and then go for the win still. Yeah? Push for the win, but keep defensively tight. That's what I want to see, fam. Why can't we go for the win still, all the way to the 90th minute, like Alex Ferguson times? Even down to the 93rd minute, bro, you're still playing your heart out. You're up there. You're still defending.
Yes.
I don't think you can compare our team with Alex Ferguson's
forward.
team. The resources are
Joe,
different.
I
I
agree
don't
with
care,
you,
bro.
but
We should be
Rich,
always
I
playing
feel
to win.
Rich will need to have a little bit to say here, because this is one point I
What
think
I was
I
going to
agree
say,
with Rich here.
I don't think Manchester United set up to try and get a draw. I think Manchester United set up exactly the same way Ollie used to approach Man City. We're not looking at getting lots of possession. We're not looking at, we're expecting Aston Villa to be on the front foot. We're expecting if we're going to hit them, we hit them on the break. So we've got our two most direct, pacey players there. We've got Rashford, we've got Garnacho, we've got Bruno that will play that quick ball. I think we just set up to try and hit them on the break. And if Garnacho makes that fairly easy pass, I think we can actually win the game. I think what's disappointing is that Manchester United don't have the bench options we used to have. So you look at the options we have on the bench, we didn't have an elite striker to bring on if Højlund doesn't work out. We don't have we have Anthony, who's not as good as Garnacho or Rashford, in my opinion. We don't have other good options. So for me, the first 11 had to get it done. And because we didn't take the chances, like we limited Aston Villa to one shot on target, which, in terms of defensive performance, was absolutely great. But when I looked at our defense, I thought, you got Maguire, you got Evans, people questioning that. But I think that's the sort of defense that when Aston Villa are putting in crosses, that defense deals with that easily. And we saw that. We need to have height and physicality in defense to deal with sort of long crosses into the box. We dealt with that easily. Aston Villa didn't cause us problems from set pieces. There was virtually nothing for Onana to do. The only difference between us getting the win, and people would look at a 1-0 win against Aston Villa as a decent result. The only thing really was just execution. That when you play that sort of way against City or against Aston Villa or any sort of team, you're going to have a limited amount of chances. You just got to take them. And I think the frustration is that that's probably the best way to approach Aston Villa. We know they played a high line and we did have opportunities. And I think they learned a little bit from last season where we hit them twice. So I think, to be honest, I can see the frustration. My frustration is more in other games. Like the Aston Villa game was quite boring as a neutral watch, and there wasn't many chances. But looking at Manchester United's squad at the moment, I think the more concern is that we're not actually creating a lot of chances in these sort of games. And you look at the pressure that one or two missed chances, and people are really getting quite stressed by it. I think the frustration for me as well was that we had to sub Rashford because, in my opinion, I don't normally moan about the referee, but the referee was pretty poor. And I think the bias in cards was starting to affect our players, where Ericsson on a yellow very early, we've got Maino on a yellow, Rashford on a yellow. And you look at the same sort of offences from Aston Villa players going unpunished. So for me, it wasn't the best day, but we've had much worse performances this season. And I can see the frustration from like fans looking at the resources that Alex Ferguson used to have. You could start with York and Solskjaer, or York and Cole, and you could bring on Sheringham and Solskjaer. We don't have that resource anymore. We don't have the bench that we can unload top quality players.
Why didn't he buy someone better than him?
I didn't hear that comment.
Why didn't he buy someone better then?
I'm questioning why we didn't buy left back.
Why are we linked goal scorers? Why are we always trying to get development players now? Why can't we get someone who's developed and ready? Answer that question. Why he chose some of these guys?
I'm not disagreeing with you. When we did the transfer window, we've got Højlund, and everybody says in the future Højlund might be like we're all hoping he develops. That's what we hope as a fan, and we hope that we can develop players. But for me, Manchester United, the quality of like the team we want to have, we shouldn't rely on one striker to develop. We should have bought someone in the summer. You can argue about Tony, or you can pick any sort of striker you want. why didn't we buy a striker that is at his peak? Because Manchester United, we didn't buy Dwight York and hope he developed. We didn't buy Andy Cole, hope he developed. We didn't buy Sheringham, Solskjaer. They were done. Like Van Nistelrooy, everybody was already Van Persie. There's a list of like 20 strikers we
You
bought.
have to have them experience.
Yeah, we just got all we got is we got an experienced coach. We got an experienced coach, but on the field we got an inexperienced striker trying to learn, and that is not good enough for Manchester United. And I think that's the frustration because that's what we've got at the moment. So Højlund's trying to learn, trying to develop, but we've got no experience that can come in. Tony would have hit the ground running, no doubt.
Sorry, no. Did Ray Carl Brown just say that we don't have the money? Unfortunately, Ray Carl Brown.
Like it.
How much money did we just, bro? Do not tell me we do not have peas. We're the only team right now in England that can spend the money that we can spend, fam. We actually can spend the most money in the Premier League right now. That's why do you think the Premier League's transfer window was so quiet, fam, apart from us? Because we can spend peas. They can't spend peas on the
how much we earn, but
we can afford to buy a striker.
The peas.
We can buy a striker, fam. Instead of buying, but listen, okay. I know that we spent well this summer, right, in terms of what we brought in, yeah. But if you think about it, instead of buying 2 of those players, we could have bought 1 backup player. Just you know what I'm saying? Am I lying?
Mm-hmm.
Most of our players cost around 40 to 60 mil this season. We could have spent that if we, cut off 2 people, right, and we got 100 grand striker. Would anybody be complaining right now? Exactly. No complaints.
I don't think so. But what I would say is this, bro. We can't just revise the past. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I would say,
but it has to be looked at. I get that you can't revise the past,
this is
but
the
it has to be
problem.
looked at.
We have to look at the entire structure with this decision. With the decisions this summer, bro, reality is we have to look at the entire structure.
That's fine. That's fine.
£5 super chat. Unfortunately, guys, we got the money now to go buy a 70 million center forward. Now, I as much as I didn't like Tony, if we had bought him, I would back it because you know what? I think we needed an experienced guy in there, regardless of who it
wouldn't be my first choice, but there's no disagreeing. He would have definitely worked out as a striker. I think what Ineos have done is I think financially Manchester United are even better positioned for next summer because we'll have even more money. I think what they've done is if they haven't got their first choice, like I would have probably gone for Branthwaite and got him in. Or I'd gone for maybe I don't know if I'd have gone for Tony, but you'd certainly look at striking options. I think what Manchester United are doing is that we've offloaded a lot of big salaries in the transfer in the summer, and I think if we can get players in January, maybe we can. I think a left back was a gamble. We thought Luke Shaw would come back a lot quicker than he was going to, and I think Amas is not ready. So I think Manchester United have really hampered themselves by not getting a left back. And also, I'm starting to think we should look more in the Premier League as well for players. Like, why aren't we going for Robinson as an option? Or why don't we? I think we're taking a big gamble. And to me, I think still like some of the business was quite good. Like I think Yoro is a good signing. I'm not convinced by Xerxes at the moment though. I know he's quite a popular player, and a lot of people like the way he's playing. For me, 35 million I think could have been better spent. And I think he's not offering enough to the team. In my opinion,
that's a big statement.
I disagree there. I actually a little bit disappointed with Xerxes' performances myself. Now, listen, I do think he will probably deliver more going forward. I think right now the pressure is getting to him. Not only that, but he's not a prolific goal scorer. Let's be clear. I think he can develop prolific goal scoring ability. Maybe in the next 2 seasons, maybe, but he's predominantly more of a 9.5, like in between a 10 and a striker, let's just say. And yes, he will come in and give performances. He has contributed with linking up the attack going forward, and that is very awesome. But I think he's also not yet match fit because we have seen he's not sharp. He's not checking his shoulders in a couple games, getting dispossessed easily. He's not the quickest over the first 10 yards as well. I think that's a lot of development there with him. He's still very raw. Now, this is why I was like, bro, we might as well have gotten Benjamin Sesko or get a senior striker instead of going for Joshua Xerxes. But this is what the structure together with Ten Hag decided. The same thing when they decided to go and bring De Ligt. And everybody will blame Ten Hag. when the
Hold
scouting
on.
staff and Dan Ashwood suggested Delete, not Ten
They
Hag.
did suggest the lit. Can I ask a question to everybody here? How does everybody feel about the lit right now? Because I hear your Xerxes point, but I'm feeling a little bit funny about the lit right now, Is he actually good?
I mean, be a little fair, bro. He had no preseason, and we have to be
No,
fair. Some of
I'm
these
just
players
asking a
had no
question.
preseason.
Has
They're
he
not
been
up
good for
to.
us so far then? That's my
Yeah, he had
question.
some
Do you
good
think he's
games, bro.
actually
He
been
scored
good?
a very good goal to win us
Yeah,
that
but he
game
think he
as
scored
looked
well.
good
one goal.
early in the season. He
One
looked
goal.
like he had a few good games. I think the last couple of games not so good. But I would say he's had a better season. I think Martinez has had a disappointing season for me in multiple games.
100%.
For
Mm.
me, they've both been shaky, and they'll always
There's a
both
couple
be
of players
shaky.
that over the course of the season, I would probably say you got to look at the team performance and say Bruno should be benched more and Martinez should be benched more. They're two key players that have played disappointing this season. Regardless of everyone's got their favourite players, but Martinez, for me, should have been dropped yesterday on form. And whether you put Maguire or Evans or anybody else in, I think he's been disappointing. Bruno Fernandes as well, I think he's been disappointing. But I think Ericsson has really had a good season so far. I think we know he's not the quickest, he's not the greatest off the ball, but he's been a good player. I think Delit had some good performances. It's great to see an aerial threat from set pieces. He's looked quite good in some games. He has had a couple of disappointing games quite recently, but I think considering it's a new signing, I think he's done overall quite well. Considering his defensive partner for me has been quite disappointing. That's what I say about Delit.
For me, they are shaky, and they'll always be shaky unless there's an adult center back there. If Varane was here, an adult, they'll paired with Varane, you will get the best out of them. But now they're just like two kids running around with headless chicken. They will always be shaky.
Are you talking
There's no
about
composure
Delit
back there.
and hold on, Delit and
Joe, your
But
mic
it's
is
not
low. Or is
Joe,
it
your
me?
it's
mic
not
is low
ideal.
for
We've
some
got
reason.
a right back playing left back as well for the
Joe,
whole
now
season,
that's
which
Yeah,
is ridiculous.
that right there, right back and left back, that to me is a choice that the manager made because it makes no sense
that was a choice.
that be there. Because
And
Maserati
then
has been playing left back at Bayern Munich before he came over here. All of a sudden, boom, he's starting right back. Like, bro, no. Dalot should be the starting right back and let Maserati play left back because he's been playing left back at Bayern Munich before he came over here. Even when he went for international break, he plays at left back. So what are we doing
No,
here?
I was going to say that's a great point because I've been saying recently on my channel when we do previews, like why isn't Mazraoui trying left back? Because I know he played like a third of the games at Bayern Munich at left back. So put him at left back, put Dalot at right back, and that probably helps our right hand side. Because I don't know how many games you have to watch it not work out with Dalot at left back. But at some point you've got to look at it and go, Mazraoui can play there. So put him there and see what's the worst that can happen. Put him there and see how it works. I think it's I was surprised actually. I thought considering Dallo had been one of our more consistent players last season. I thought Dallo would stay on the right and Mazraoui would come in on the left because I think it gives him a chance to sort of get a significant run of games till Luke Shaw came back. Then when Luke Shaw came back, you could like kind of assess whether Mazraoui plays on the left a bit, plays on the right a bit. So for me, it's a bit surprising that we haven't seen that because we know last season it wasn't working great. Whoever we put on the left hand side. So I think that's a Ten Hag issue, isn't it? I think sometimes people will say there's a bit of stubbornness. I think what I did like about the Aston Villa game yesterday that I didn't like much because it was a pretty boring game. But what I did like was that the lineup, he did actually identify that we need to try something different in different games. And I think that Aston Villa and other fans would have looked at Manchester United and thought, okay, this is a bit odd, bit different, but at least it was like a different plan. It didn't work, unfortunately, but we did create chances and we did limit Aston Villa. And I know like I'm agreeing with I can't remember your name. Is it Joe that's on the top?
Yeah, no, almost.
I'm agreeing with a lot. I understand a lot of your frustrations, and I know what it's disappointing because we didn't get a win. If we'd have got a 1-0 win, you'd probably think like for me, I'd have just thought like job done. Not a pretty game, but got the result, and it's Aston Villa are a tough team to play against. But I think if we can at least have some defensive solidity in the next sort of few games, that gives us a platform that if we do score goals, like we can't have a situation where we're conceding 2 or 3 goals per game, like 20 shots per game. And I know that for me, the biggest problem to try and sort out is midfield. Just how do you manage to sort of support the attack, but also when we lose possession, protect the defense? And I think at the moment that's a difficult situation. Like for me, at Agate, he's not playing a lot at the moment. I'm not sure how he sorts out our midfield because we got a few pieces in there that we kind of need to sort out with Ericsson, Mainoo, Bruno, how it's all going to work together. But I saw some positives, but there's a lot of negatives, unfortunately. And I think the negatives are just kind of spilling over from previous games, particularly in Europe, where I think Porto, when I saw them, they weren't as good as I was expecting. And I kind of think we threw that game away a little bit. And I think fans were then, just expecting more from Aston Villa. We're not going to rock up at Villa Park and dominate the game with possession-wise because we haven't got that team to do it. We've gone for like a cautious approach. Let's just not concede too many shots. Keep it tight. Aston Villa are a dangerous team. See if we can take 1 or 2 chances. And I know, like Joe and Mark, you're probably disappointed. I'm disappointed, but
Bro, I'm a bit disappointed
worse.
as well, to be fair. Sorry about that, guys. My phone just died, so I'm using my laptop camera now. But yeah, big up to Mick any Bill, and he says, actually, we suffer from the left as we don't do overlaps much with Dalot. Believe me or not, we made sure on Malacia to get the best of the Rashford. Now, I kind of agree and I kind of disagree there. I feel like there are times when Dalot overlaps, even when other players was playing on the left, they overlap, but Rashford doesn't really use it. But recently, what I would say about Rashford is quite different from what everybody would expect, because I usually criticize him heavily. But I think recently he started to take responsibility for leading the attack with performances. In the last 3 games, I would argue that he's been one of our best players in each game. And I think the performances are building for him. And I'm here for seeing it, because I think him taking the lead takes the pressure off the attackers, the rest of younger players in attack with him, and, kind of gives them a point of reference. Like, okay, Rashford is going to, come up with these performances. I have to come up to that level as well. And if he can maintain that consistency going forward, and not only that, but also, start impacting the game a little bit more heavily with assists and goals consistently, I think it changed the dynamic for you at Man United going forward. Now, it has not been pretty. We've drawn 2, we've won 2, we've lost 3. But I think, it's at a tipping point where players now need to look at the Johnny Evans performance yesterday and say to themselves, listen, Graham Pop-Ups can't be outdoing me. Take some inspiration from that and try to emulate that going forward. Because at the end of the day, we do, expect a certain level of performance. I expect United players to be effort merchants, to be fair, because under Alex Ferguson, we had a bunch of effort merchants. Not just leaders, but effort merchants. They always would come out and perform. And when they're walking off that pitch, you could see the steam coming off them because they could see that they gave everything. You know what I mean? And I think if these players start giving that similar level of performance that Johnny Evans gave yesterday, I think United's trajectory will go up, up, up. Now, I don't expect us to compete for the top of the table this season, but we could definitely still finish in the top 4. It's still not too late. There are 31 games left. We do have no losses in Europe so far, with 2 points from 2 games played. If we can get a win in the next game against Fenerbahce, I think that sets us up nicely to start making a climb up the Europa League table, where I think is our best suited, chance of silverware other than the FA Cup this season. Maybe we could, focus on those 2 tournaments, win a FA Cup, win a Europa Cup, secure Champions League, and also work our way up the tables. Of course, we did finish 8th last season, but I think that was a fluke season with the amount of injuries, the transfers, the transaction of the football club, as well as the different sagas going on with Mason Greenwood, Anthony, and Marcus Rashford. I think there's a lot to be seen. You can't remove those things and then say he should just win.
We
I
are
think all those
removing
factors
it.
impacted the club in a holistic fashion. You know what I mean? And I think that's the only reason why, one of the reasons why I will say, last season I will not stress too much about it. I expect him to, by Christmas, if he's still here, to at least have us somewhere within a game of top 4, and I would be satisfied, in my honest opinion.
Nah, Mark, I'm about to remove that because other people went through other team went through the same thing. You keep acting like Manchester United is the only team. Other teams are going through the same exact thing.
Oh, man, everybody should still have to win and lose, bro.
Everybody's got to see each other. You acting like Manchester
games,
United is the only team in the league, and it's not. Other team went through the same stuff as well.
Well, you know what? I never criticized last season. Yeah, I never did. Yeah, you know what I was last season. It's this season that I'm mad about. Yeah, it's this season and the consistency of mediocrity. You understand what I mean? It's the consistency of mediocrity and the acceptance. You know what really jars me? Yeah, and I never really wanted to out, bro. Yeah, know this. But I'll tell you the thing is that's really jarring me, fam. The consistency of him always picking the same people that are not delivering for him. And it's like he can't see what I'm seeing. If you see this guy is jogging back, not giving effort, why don't you change him? You've got great options on the bench. And you know what my man said? Is it the guy in the red top right now? What's your name?
Rich.
Rich.
Rich, right? He said earlier, you know, he spoke about Anthony and he had options on the bench and stuff like that. Well, guess what? He had Ahmad on the bench.
Ahmad
What is
hasn't been good
Ahmad
for the
doing?
last 2 games, bro. He's been rubbish.
And yeah,
Do you
bro,
think
you
Amad
say he's
Diallo
been
works
rubbish.
in this game though? He hasn't got the pace and directness of Garnacho and Rashford. So Aston Villa, when we take Rashford off, a lot of teams respond by going further up the pitch, making it more difficult. If we're trying to play against a high line that Villa like Amad Diallo for me hasn't really delivered enough this season. I know people love him, and they love Xerxes, but I'm looking at the goals, assists, and those sort of things that people say stats are overrated, but they win us games. And Rashford and Garnacho are a consistent goal threat, something which Amad Diallo and Xerxes at the moment aren't. I think they're great on the ball, and if we're gonna play Amad Diallo and Xerxes, then we need to retain possession. We need a lot more players, and we can't suddenly mix and match different styles of players. I think Amad Diallo, I like what he's doing, and I like it, what he brings to the team, but at the moment, he's not at the level that people want him to be. I know people there's a lot of support and a lot of fans really want to see more of him, but I think he needs to start delivering more. That it's not enough to do pretty passes around the box. I know Mark likes these players as well. We all want the same thing. We all want them to succeed. Like I'd love it if Amad Diallo came off the bench and scored 2 goals and we won 2-0. But at the moment, I just don't see him doing that. And I think at some point you look at it and go, they're not putting up the numbers to force their way into the team. For me, Rashford got a lot of criticism last season. As soon as he starts hitting form, he gets taken off at half time after a goal and an assist to save him for the Villa game. He gets benched after scoring a couple of goals. For me, that you've got to put them in the team because they're fit enough. They're not playing international football. I think Amad Diallo's got he's going to get chances. And I said this, sorry for talking a lot, Mark, but Amad Diallo and Xerxes will get plenty of chances this season. Plenty of chances. If they want to be in the team, they've got to show what they can do. Amad Diallo, it's not enough to do pretty passes. It's not enough for Anthony just to be good off the ball. You've got to show what you can do in terms of possession, creating chances, causing problems for the opposition. Marcus Rashford was running some of the defenders ragged before he got yellow carded. I think he was a massive danger. Garnacho is a massive problem every game because he's so direct, he's so aggressive.
I'll tell you why. Xerxes been starting, fam. You see who said this earlier? I don't know who said it earlier, but I think it was Omo. Something about Xerxes being a different kind of, he actually helps the wingers more or something like that you were saying. I can't remember exactly what you're saying, right? You know what I want to see? I want to see Ahmad and someone like, I don't know who else actually, someone else on the wing. Maybe Rashford could start, yeah, but I want to see Ahmad starting with Hoyland, yeah, because Ahmad is a person who creates chances for people rather than finishing chances, right? And I've always been saying this since the start of the season. Ahmad and Xerxes, cool, but they're more build-up players rather than finishers. So on the pitch, we had one finisher. Do you understand what I mean? We had one finisher in the likes of Marcus Rashford, yeah, trying to be supplied by 2 development players who are still more creators than they are finishers. So our attack is unbalanced in that respect. Yeah, this is why I wanted to see the likes of I was waiting for Hoyland to come back and see him with the likes of Ahmad and the new Rashford, as I was calling him. Right, I was calling him the new Rashford because he actually started passing the ball at the start of the season. Yeah, and I'm not seeing that yet. Yeah, I want a balanced.
It's only been 7
I want a
games,
balanced
though.
front line. Yeah, but bro,
I
here's
mean,
the
you have
thing.
to give it time too, Joe. Like, listen, hold on.
You can't mistake just 7 games like you have.
The problem is, we all want to see something cool. I cannot dispute what you want to see. As much as I might agree with you as well. But what I would say is that we have to look at this from 2 perspectives, right? You cannot sit down and tell me that the coaches we had for the last 5 years on the Ollie, right, have the same coaching tactics that the new 5 coaches we just hired in August. Literally, right? Now, while it's not a huge thing, it still changes the offset of the players' training sessions. They have new implementations and these things that need to be learned, need to get used to. It's all good and well and saying that we hire coaching staff, we buy these players this summer, we should be seeing better football. But it has a process, you know, a training process, you know, implementation process. It's going to
You
take
say
some
that,
time.
bro.
That sounds like an excuse, man.
How long?
How is that an excuse? Like, I mean, like, who buys a brand new coaching staff and starts winning from the first game?
Chelsea.
No one.
Chelsea did.
Bro, did Chelsea
Chelsea.
buy a new coaching staff or did they just buy a new coach? And they had 40 players from before.
Blood, what I'm
They had
saying
a
to you is,
whole
fam,
host of
Man
players that they
United have
could
had
use
this guy
and
for 2.5
win
years,
from the
though,
team.
bro. We've had the same manager for 2.5 years, fam. You've got to say this. That should have been implemented already. Whether or not the coaching staff have changed, they would just implement. Hold on a second. They know whether or not whether or not it's changed. It would just improve the players. That's what the coaching staff is there to do.
How
This
could
man
didn't even hear that.
listen to me,
just
listen to
when
me.
you're not
If you
coaching,
have
like
5 coaches
play.
who are all they know all their life is to coach counter-attack football, how can they down in 1 season or 2 seasons start coaching attacking expansive football, bro, and it work? Tell me, you make sense out of that and tell me, bro. Use
All
a
right, if you want to
professional
tell me,
race car
bro,
driver.
if
You
that's
just
what
want
you're
jump
trying to
on a
get at, that's
motorbike
not what I
and
was
win
getting at.
Superbike. That's what you're saying.
Mark,
No, that's
Mark,
foolishness.
let's
That's not
not
what I'm
go
saying.
there.
Like, that's exactly
Because-
what you
because
don't like
Mark-
it. That's what almost
This is
saying
what he
about.
always does. He finds excuses for the manager,
Bro,
and
it's not
like
that,
this
it's
Mark,
not,
and
it's
that.
not even,
Like, bro,
I'm not
why
even
does
talking about the
coaches come
manager,
into
bro.
play?
I'm talking
One
about
at a
the
time,
team.
people. One
He
at a
just
time. One at a
you
time.
want to ignore coaching. Like you definitely ignore the basic of coaching.
Oh my God. Bro, I literally was talking about the coaches and application with the team performance, bro, because they new set piece coach, new goalkeeping coach, new defensive coach, new midfield coach, new attacking coach, who's Ruud van Nistelrooy, by the way. So these guys implementing training sessions, new training sessions, they never had them before. They just consider it like that. It's different to what they had before. Now, in accordance with the players, bro, it's going to take some time for their new learnings and stuff to work, to you know, for them to get used to it, for it to start working, showing output, to be fair. And I think we need to give time for that. This had nothing to do with Ten Hag, bro. Nothing. I'm talking about the players and their new directed coaches who coaching them in attacking principles, midfield and defense, and how to play out from the back and the goalkeeping coach. This is what I'm talking about. Forget Ten Hag for a second. I'm not defending him. What are your thoughts on that? Because we have to close the show in like 5 minutes, guys. Sorry, I have to go actually.
Damn, I want to talk more.
Yo, we can do a show later on tonight if you have time, bro. We can do it like, you know, maybe at 9 p.m. at 9 or 10 p.m. UK. You know, or we could jump on Rich's show. I think Rich has a show tonight.
Yeah,
you know,
I
we
might
could
do
all
something
jump on
tonight
Rich's
if people want
channel.
to come on. Because I know Mark like lets people on, and I've used to do it in the past, but I haven't had as much time. But what I might do, it's international break. I'll do some more call-in shows if people want to come in. Because I know there's a lot of opinions, and it's like an hour and a half isn't always enough. So if people want to come on, like my channel's easy to find. Just Google United TV, and usually it's like about 8:30, 9 o'clock.
And
Mark, you have to come on
TV,
sometime.
yeah?
Of course, anytime, bro. You know, Rich is a cool guy. You know, Temba, I think, you know, Temba would like to interact with Rich Olmo as well. And you, Joe, I think it would be cool for you guys to interact with Rich. United TV has a really good podcast.
But I think the main thing is that everybody gets an opportunity to have their say, because I think we all want kind of the same thing, but we're just frustrated by what we see. And when results don't go our way, everybody's got a different idea of what they want to see. For me, it's really frustrating that Rashford couldn't stay on the pitch longer, because I think he was looking quite dangerous. But I don't know. It's a long season, and there's going to be a lot of issues. I think people that want to see more of Ahmed, more Xerxes, are going to get the opportunity to see that. But I think the frustration is that we didn't get a better striker in January. In the summer. Yeah,
100%, and I think we could all agree on that. But at the same time, you know, we cannot now say that it's all the manager's fault, because we have a new structure.
I'm still saying
no. That's where I come in. That's where I come in. I do whiteboard. It's all the manager's fault, because again, you could make pieces together and it could work. Because that Aston Villa game showed me something. It was something that you didn't pay attention to. You saw that Bruno was far away from the ball. The farther away Bruno was from the ball, the better our midfielder. You could see that Eriksen and Miner was having fun with the ball. I've been saying this over and over. Get Bruno and Fernandes far away. Put him at the number 9. Get him far away from the midfield and you can play football. Because Miner and Eriksen were playing better football in that midfield than if Bruno Fernandes was in the middle of that mess.
True.
That's just a little simple
thing.
A
good time, but I don't think it's.
And again, it showed that we could play better with 10 men. It showed that we play better with 10 men, where this man is far away.
You know what's like them up to play in that midfield, bro. Don't do that.
No, I'm
See
not.
when you
No,
try to go
no,
like that,
no,
that's
no,
what I
no,
do.
no. I am doing that. I'm going there.
Yeah. I feel
I'm
they
going
with
there.
you.
Bruno Fernandes. From what you want from a number 10, Bruno Fernandes does not give you all the number 10 in the world, and you compare Bruno Fernandes. It doesn't fit into that mold of what you want.
I've been saying it for a very long time. The way you want to play, Bruno Fernandes is not your guy. He won't give you that 10 you're looking for. Bruno Fernandes suits more of a counter-attacking team.
Bro, just give him to Man
well.
City and we'll kill all them rumors. I wish,
He's not.
and I tell
He's
it for you
not
guys,
getting a
right?
game.
With
A
one
He's
single
not
game
starting
at
with
Man City.
Martinez
He's not
Nunes.
playing at Man
Right?
City.
He's not
I
starting
wish him
with
from
Martinez
today.
Nunes.
This is my
He's not
wish.
starting at Man
United
City.
sell Bruno in January and Man City buy him and he go there and he break every single record
Well,
Kevin De
he's
Bruyne
going there
has
to
made
stay on
him
the
a better
He will
bench.
not break anything.
That's what I hope for. Because
He's not
Yeah,
breaking
he's what you
anything,
hope
Mark.
for. He's what you hope for. But the fact is, he's not benching Martinez Nunes. He's what you hope for.
Huh?
you want to bet money on?
Yeah,
Just
with that
bro,
money, he's not starting with Martinez Nunes.
anytime we sell Bruno and he go to Manchester City, bro, that £100 bet on from game
Oh yeah,
one, from
yeah,
week one.
yeah.
All right.
I can't wait till we sell him.
No, for me it's 1,000, dude.
All right, so we'll bet. I bet in you too, don't worry yourself. I take in that Real Madrid money. I need to buy some kits. You know what I'm saying?
No stress.
Big up to Olmo in the
stress,
building.
you are-
bro.
Wait, hold up.
Thank you so
I
much for
think
coming through.
Rick want to say something before we log out.
All right, well, let's see what Joe had to say before you go, and Rich, and then I'll let you close the show. Man. Joe, what you saying?
Yo, no man. You know what? I've gone through the process for so long, fam. Yeah, that I'm at a point now where I need the process to deliver something to me. Yeah, whether it was better performances, and you know what? At the start of the season, I thought it was better performances, but I need something to click. Let's
And
either
product.
keep clean sheets or start scoring goals. Something needs to happen, bro. I still like
There you go.
Ten Hag, but he might not be the man for us.
I agree with you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I a little bit more patient, so I could understand why your stance is your stance, bro. It's fair.
I'm a little bit more emotional, innit? That's what it is. Anyway,
Yeah,
Good,
big up.
bro. No, nothing wrong with that. Passion is sports and no passion is football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Temba, Real Madrid, brethren,
Something-
talk to me.
Something has to change. Something has to
Mhm.
change. That's how I would
Okay.
say, man. But Ten Hag is not
Big
helping
up.
himself as well. Big up
Rich.
to everybody, man.
Thanks for coming through today, Rich. Well, big up,
No worries.
much welcome
It
to
was
have you on
interesting
the
debate.
channel.
I just wanted to get involved, but no, I think I've been quite patient for a long time with Ten Hag. I think the frustration now is that we've got more options, but can he get the best out of the team? I'm looking at our squad, thinking we've got there's a couple of things we haven't got, like striker, left back, but we've got a team that should be putting out and a squad that should be putting out better performances over the season, not just Villa. I think you look at other games this season, and for me, that's the frustration. Is he actually getting the most out of the squad? Which is where I'm not sure he is.
Yeah, I'm not sure he is at the moment, but I think from my approach, I think that, for me, I was always giving him until Christmas because I feel like that's the only way I could judge him with the new signings and the new coaches. And for that, I was like, okay, by then we should be more in a place where we might be like one game off a top four or something. If not, then, we will have to assess things in a different light. Maybe it might not be him. But that's just where I'm at. Big up to you, Rich. Olmo, what you saying, buddy?
Again, I've been saying this for the past far long. Ten Hag out. We need a better manager that can coach these players and put them in position to succeed. Until that happens, we will never succeed. Ten Hag is the enemy of progress.
100%. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been, that show, you know what I mean? The midday stream from the guys. It's going to be called, it's a man them
Hey,
talk.
where's Rich channel?
Rich channel is United TV. Rich, you drop the link in the comments, bro. If you could drop it in the comments so the guys could check
Okay,
it
I'll
out.
try and
bro,
drop
that'll
it in
be
the
really
comments.
cool. Drop it in the private chat then, and I'll copy it and I'll paste it in the chat for you. Guys, thanks to, give a warm welcome to Rich United TV for coming through in the building today. Also, don't forget to give a warm welcome to Joe Blackman, trying to get Joe to do more consistent streams. You know what I mean? Back on Entertainment needs to level himself off the floor with more streams on a regular basis for everyone involved. Olmo, it's a matter of time before you get your YouTube channel. Guys, go follow United TV and Rich Sports at this link. Smash it. Give him a like, subscribe, and a like on one of his recent videos, guys. Leave a comment. Rich is a very cool guy. He will always read your comments on the chat. Joe, we have our eyes on you, buddy. You need to come up. And don't forget, I'm missing the window on the left of the screen. You know what I'm talking about. Big up to you. Big up to Raquel Brown, Willman United, Jack Reacher. Big up to Sadiq Rahman. Big up to Box. Big up to all of you guys coming in the chat. Big up to you, D Nadu. Big up to you, David Moyes, as well. You know, big up to Adrian Monk. Big up to MUFC Realist TV and Mick Ruby. Big up to Willman United as well. Thank you, Kepa Lance, for being here. Big up to Tabat Jovita. Big up to Jack Reacher as well. Everyone that came in today, hope you have a great day. Thank you for all the guests and the panelists that was here. Hope you guys will smash a like and subscribe and tune into the next stream, because we might have a stream tonight. If not, maybe if Rich has a call in, we will all jump in on Rich's channel and show some support and love for our brother. Big up to everyone. Everyone has their opinion. You know, no one's opinion is not valid. Whether you're 10 Hag in, 10 Hag out, or 10 Hag out, we are all Manchester United fans, whether you're from China, Russia, Pacific, or Asia. We are all one family, all Reds, all united. Let's keep it clean, keep it cheerful, keep it classy. Glory, glory, Man United, guys. Big up to all of you. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a great day. We'll catch you guys later on. Peace out. Rich, thanks.